Let's go! Well, I guess we liked it enough to do a second episode. So, we are back for episode 2. Welcome to the weekend. Zenski, Nick Karski with you. Happy to be back. And let me just preface by saying, if you were watching on YouTube, it is not my birthday with the decorations behind me. It was my wife's birthday. So, happy belated 30th birthday, Jenna. And,
yay, Jenna, happy 30th.
Those are her decorations.
Cheers to 30 years. 30 is a hell of a time. Trust me, it goes downhill from here. I know from experience. And
you could say hell of a time for this week, too. How's your week been?
Well, I'm drinking red wine to get ready for the weekend.
There you go.
So that basically, in a nutshell, is how my week has gone.
And I think you had your week off to a pretty solid start because, should we say, God bless the Buffalo Bills?
Should we say God bless the Buffalo Bills? Let me tell you something, okay? When it comes to predicting the outcome of Bills games, I'm 1-0.
Yeah, you're good.
I have my moments where you know what? Not just moments. This happens often where I just know what's going to happen with the Bills games. I felt confident in this group going into week 3 and getting the dub against the Rams. And they do so in dramatic walk-off fashion, 35-32. They beat Los Angeles. It was a win that I didn't see, or it was a win that I saw coming a little bit easier than it did. But it's also a win that provided a lot of unique moments for me here at my place.
You don't say.
Shall we let everybody in on the life of yours truly during a Bills Sunday?
I say we draw back the curtain and show how Nick Karski truly consumes a Buffalo Bills football game.
All right, buckle up. Here we go. This is from Sunday. Oh, boy. Beer number 1. Come on. Delay game. Oh. Ooh, wee. Had a baby Matt. Oh, he destroyed him. Oh, he. Oh, no good. Come on, Josh. Come on, Dev. Come on, Dev. Come on, Dev. God. Had a baby Dev. Go, baby. Give it to him. Come on. Oh, bull. Come on, man. He's wide open. Now what? Oh, come on. Court, come on. 4th and goal. Let's go. That a baby Lee? Intercepted. That a baby Levi? Let's go. That's my quarterback. What a move. He's in there. That a baby Josh. That a baby Cole. Oh my God, nobody was there. Get it. Nice. Need my fantasy points. Where's the face mask? It's a face mask. Short. No, he's short. Get rid of the ball, Josh. Good God. Oh. Come on, Cole. First down, let's go. That a baby Cole. That a baby. What a pass. God, come on. Wow. What are you doing? Got him. Let's go. Woo! Let's go. That's such a perfect thing. I can't believe you made that.
That is a fantastic montage, if I do say so myself.
I'm such a lunatic and I've got problems.
Yeah, that's right.
It's week 3 of the bleeping regular season, and I'm acting like it's a win-all, like a must-win sort of game. And those are true, genuine reactions. I didn't realize how many times I call those players baby, but I call them baby a lot. I didn't realize how aggressively I clap my hands. I didn't realize just how much of an insane person I sound like on a Sunday. And that was me pretty sober, too, after just like 2 or 3 drinks.
Well, I will say, yes, the amount of times you call Josh Allen baby is marginally concerning. But listen, like you said on the show last week, for the years of turmoil that you've put up with for the Buffalo Bills, you have a right to embrace the fact that the team is now 3-0.
I would like to embrace the fact that I was pretty damn close with my prediction on Josh Allen, by the way.
Right. So you said last week it was 323-3. What was his final line?
Josh Allen, 323 yards and 3 touchdowns, I said.
Yeah.
He threw for 311 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he rushed for another.
That is amazingly
I
close.
know when the Bills are going to win games, and I know when the Bills are going to just stink up the joint. Like this weekend.
It's uncanny.
Against the Raiders, there's a strong possibility they just won't have it. I'm a firm believer. I have a feeling they're just not going to have it, and they're going to lose their first game of the season.
Okay, so going off of that, I mean, it just begs the question, what's the final for then this weekend against Oakland?
What's the final? No, I don't want to talk about that.
I mean, come on. If we have you in the habit of making predictions, good or bad.
Oh, God almighty. I think they squeak out the win 38-35. Let's do it.
Okay.
3-point
All right,
margin.
We'll revisit next weekend along with more sound clips.
Okay, good. Good. No, I can't do it. See, it's just so embarrassing how ridiculous it gets.
All right. Well, we'll let the listeners decide. If you want to hear, if you feel like the entertainment value is there for more Buffalo Bills sound clips, courtesy of Nick Karski, drop us a comment, shoot us a note on Instagram or Facebook, and let us know what you think you would like to hear on the show next week.
While you're at it, make sure you rate, subscribe, and review To the Weekend wherever you may get your podcasts.
All that stuff. And on that topic, we weren't live on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts for episode 1, but we are now for episode 2. So you could listen to us wherever you like in addition to YouTube. So yeah, hit the subscribe buttons. We'd be happy to have you along for this journey.
Besides the most obvious thing from this past week, were there any true headlines from the weekend?
From the weekend? No. I mean,
excuse me.
I have a random story that I think we could talk about as a headline if you want to drop that.
Do we want to drop it?
Drop it.
Here's what you missed.
All right. So a couple of Londoners were just minding their business, and as they were walking down the street, they came across nearly 32 tons of carrots dumped into the street, specifically on the campus of a London university. For what reason?
I don't know.
For
That's
an art exhibit.
For art?
For art.
Okay.
So it says here, the school revealed that a pile of carrots is an art installation by Rafael Perez Evans, an art student at the University of London's Goldsmiths Art College. A spokesman for the college said the exhibit, titled Grounding, is part of the Master of Fine Arts degree show, which runs October 2nd to the 6th. Raphael has arranged for the carrots to be removed at the end of the exhibition and donated to animals, the spokesperson told a London news outlet. So
okay. All right. Well, at least he's giving it away. Number one.
Commendable.
Because I was going to say, if you're using carrots for 4 days and then you just let them sit there, go to waste, whatever it may be, like,
shameful.
Shame on you, brochacho.
That's right.
So good to hear that he's at least trying to do that.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. And while we're on the topic of revisiting stuff from last week in the world of headlines as well, if you listened to last week's show, you know we talked about this duck derby in a town in Texas that was looking to break the Guinness World Record for the most number of rubber ducks in a line. And where we left that off was we were waiting on the Civic Association to still announce the final number. And congrats to the local Rotary Club. They broke the Guinness World Record
All right, Rotary Club, way to go, guys!
with nearly 20,000 ducks, and they still haven't given an exact number, but they say it was more than enough to break the previous record set in 2011 in Seattle of 17,782 ducks.
Holy duck.
That's right. So if you're looking to break the world record of ducks, you need to get at least 20,000 of those bad boys together and line them up.
I got nothing for that one.
I guess not.
My holy duck, I got nothing for it.
I acknowledge
You
it.
acknowledged it like ever so slightly. I worked really hard for that one with the red wine in hand.
All right, I will give it an 8 out of 10.
Perfect, thank you.
There you go.
Speaking of world records,
Yeah.
there's a lot of bizarre ones out there. I mentioned last week you've got the cliche ones where it involves, the largest hot dog, that we were able to build, or the biggest rubber band ball, or the largest cookie, all of that sort of nonsense.
Yep.
I had to do some deep sea diving
And what did you find?
to give you some of the most ridiculous and random world records known to man, okay?
Okay.
Did you hear about the largest guitar amplifier?
I did not, but I'm sure you're going to tell me
Well,
about
I'll
it.
tell you all about it. Thank you. You teed it up. You put the ball right on the tee.
That's right.
Teed it up, and you know what? Knocked that baby 312 yards. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It was done by Full Sail University in 2017. I don't know if it was sponsored by Fender or not, but it was a Fender guitar amp measuring at 10 feet, 0.47 inches long, by 8 feet, 1.24 inches tall, by 4 feet, 3.18 inches wide. That's a lot of numbers, to be honest, and frankly, I forgot about a lot of that stuff. Height, width, length.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Basic geometry.
That's BS. But I thought it was interesting. Here's one for you. Who do you think, or how many, I should say, do you think toothpicks could fit in one's beard?
Oh, man. 1,400.
3,500 toothpicks in a beard done by Joel Strasser. I hope I'm saying his name right. Apologies, Joel. I'm very sorry if I didn't. Done in 2018. It took him 3 hours and 13 minutes to complete the feat.
3,500 toothpicks.
Yeah.
Is there a photo, or you just have?
Of course, there's a photo of this. You can find it if you Google it or look it up online.
Which we will drop into at least the video version of this show.
Take a look.
but-
Google it right now. I want to see your.
Okay.
I want to see your instant reaction. I'll do the
right.
play-by-play of the look on your face when you see Joel Strasser, Strasser. The look on Andy B's face is just pure shock. Mouth is agape. His eyes are wide open, and he just can't believe what he just saw.
No, I cannot. That is horrifying and interesting.
Looks
all
like
at
a
the same
dude who would
time.
scream and yell about his favorite football team, blowing a lead late in the game, and then, sounds like one of those lunatics.
We know people like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's. I have no words.
Contrary to popular belief, the shortest living male horse is not Lil Sebastian from Parks and Recreation.
That's a shame.
It is a horse named Bombel. He's from Poland.
Okay.
22.36 inches.
22.
That's less
less
than
than
2
2
feet
feet.
tall.
Oh man.
The woman he was posing with didn't look like she was much taller either.
See, okay, I get that that's a valid thing. A Little Sebastian is from a fictional TV show, but come on, Little Sebastian should be real enough. It is that horse has affected the minds and the hearts of many television viewers.
Oh my God, give it up. Of course, I kind of feel the same way. Who the hell am I kidding? And finally for you, I have one more.
Okay.
If you will indulge me, please.
Yes.
The largest human shamrock in world record history. Who does it belong to? And how many people were in the largest human shamrock in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Largest human shamrock. Okay. Can I ask the question?
I mean, you're just going to take up more airtime. That's fine.
So be it. Does it say if it's an outline of a shamrock, or is it like a?
It's a shamrock. It's just like, people lined up to make a shamrock.
Okay. 732.
Wrong. You were close. You were very, very close. Largest human shamrock, 1,200 people. More than 1,200 people. And it was done in Elmira, New York. Wow.
Someone's hometown.
Claim to fame, Elmira, New York. Say, I tell you what, I live in the same city which has the largest human shamrock in world history.
What is Elmira, New York's actual claim to fame, besides the largest human shamrock?
Well, Brian Williams was born here, and then his family left when
Really?
he was about 5 years old, but we still embrace him as if he's one of our own.
No kidding.
Tommy
I didn't know that.
Tommy Hilfiger was born and raised in Elmira, New York.
Okay.
Eileen Collins, born and raised in Elmira, New York. She was the first woman to pilot a space shuttle, actually.
Do you happen to know are you the chair of the Chamber of Commerce or something? You know this pretty
No,
pretty
this
well.
is just the stuff they engrave into your brain when you're younger.
Charlie Baker, governor of Massachusetts, where I live. He's from Elmira.
Mark Twain was lived his last few lives here, last few years of his life here is what I should say, and he actually wrote a couple of his big books here.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if Mark Twain had a couple of lives. He's written some stuff.
He has written some stuff. So that's basically what Elmira's claim to fame is, other than having, a wannabe minor league hockey team and a wannabe collegiate baseball. Not a wannabe, but they do have a collegiate summer baseball league team, which is so sad to me that, they have this summer collegiate baseball team and they don't really try to bring minor league baseball to this area. I don't know if it would work well or not, but the thing is there have been some superstar / Hall of Famers who have played in this town with the Elmira Pioneers back in the day.
I was just going to say, I don't know. I can't see if he was on the Pioneers here, but it says also Don Zimmer is from Elmira.
Now, see, there's a whole story with Don Zimmer that I could give you.
We have time.
Before a game, Don Zimmer, who played for the Elmira Pioneers, I'm assuming when they were affiliated with the Boston Red Sox. Before a game, he got married at home plate to his wife.
No kidding.
Before a game, and everybody and their mother, that's the old joke, everybody and their mother always claimed that they were at the wedding. Because it happened before a game.
Right.
Could you imagine that? Going to a ball game and not realizing there's going to be a wedding, and then all of a sudden there's a wedding at home plate with one of the players on the team?
That's pretty cool.
So Don Zimmer played here. Jim Palmer played here when he was with the Orioles. I hate to bring up his name, but Curt Schilling, he played here when they were affiliated with the Red Sox. So there's been a rich history of ball players who have come through here. Earl Weaver, who managed the Orioles for a long time. He was a manager for the Pioneers back in the day. So like they've had some rich history in their past, and it's one of those things where you're just like, wow, it's not really celebrated enough.
Who knew all of that could come out of a small town in central New York?
Who knew? Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know if I'd call it central New York. I'd call it the southern tier of New York. There's a lot of components, and there's a lot of discussion about New York State. See, you just live in Massachusetts, and that's just one thing.
But I was born and raised in New York.
You were born and raised in New York. So let's talk about that for a second. When it comes to New York, how do you geographically describe New York State?
Well, it's really one of two things, because where I grew up on Long Island, everything was upstate.
Just everything.
Everything was upstate. Everything north of the Bronx was upstate.
Really?
Yeah. Because technically, that is north of Long Island.
You're not wrong. Okay, so what would you consider the Ithaca area?
Central New York.
Central New York.
Yeah.
What do you consider? What do you consider the Rochester area?
You see, I don't know. I don't know.
They want to be a part of the Finger Lakes, and to me, that's not the Finger Lakes.
Yeah, so it's like, even after going to school for 4 years in Ithaca and like knowing you from the Elmira area, like I would just call the Rochester area like the Metro Rochester area.
We just
like
call Rochester, and that's that.
Right. Well, I learned. So going back to like calling everything from my perspective above the Bronx, upstate New York, I got called out on that very quickly during my first semester at Ithaca when a friend of mine was from Buffalo, and I called it upstate and was very quickly corrected to Western New York.
Oh, if it's from Buffalo, it's absolutely Western New York.
And just in simple conversation, I called it upstate, and I did not do that again because that's
a bad move on you. I mean, especially for Buffalonians.
That's true.
That's probably one of the worst things that you could do is calling the Buffalo area just upstate New York, because there's a lot more that goes into it than it just being upstate New York. See, Western New York is its own like world in some sense. Like, you want to talk about pride and, you know, being just so passionate about the area that you're from. That is what Western New York is. You don't mess with Western New York, okay, Zenski?
No. You don't mess with people that call it pop.
Now that I do have a little bit of an issue with.
Why?
I do have an issue with, because it's not pop. It's just soda, okay? It's just soda. That's all it is.
To me and you, yes, but I'm not going to take that away from them. Like if you're gonna, so like when before I moved up to New England, like I had to learn some of the parlance from New Englanders, right? And so some of that was like, you don't call it a water fountain, you call it a bubbler. Or if you're in Massachusetts, a bubbler.
Morons. Just morons.
And it's not a shopping cart, it's a carriage.
What?
Right. So it's funny, like, so even now having lived here for, 2.5 years, like I'm never going to not call things. I'm not going to call a water fountain. It's always going to be a water fountain.
Right.
And I will always still call it water, not water.
Yes, exactly.
It's just that's never gonna leave me.
Is it?
I tell my colleagues all the time, you can take the guy out of Long Island, but you can't take Long Island out of the guy.
I'm proud of you, because even though, we do have completely different worlds that we basically live in, I do appreciate the fact that you feel that way. I appreciate you feel that way.
But I'm never like, I take pride in, where I'm from, but I am also happy to, be embracing the New England culture and learning, about everything that's up here, because I'm sorry, what?
What just happened?
I don't know. Was that a glitch?
No, not at all. Anyways,
you just hate Tom Brady that much.
Tom Brady's not even a part of anything.
He will always be part of New England in some way.
Yeah, in some sense. You know what I feel like really doing right now? I feel like printing out a map of New York State and letting people know what parts of New York State are where.
Sure.
Is that bad podcasting etiquette? Is that okay podcasting etiquette? Because
I'd say it's okay podcasting etiquette.
Because I feel like there is just this whole misinterpretation of where places are on the map.
Do we need to go just straight geography lesson on people right now?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, and I don't even know if my printer would actually work. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to see if this works really quick, because what? Like, I really feel like I take issue with the idea that some people just don't know where things are on a New York State map. I truly do.
That's fair.
And I don't know if I'm maybe, heck, I could be somebody who's completely and totally off with all of this, and people could just be like, wow, you idiot, that's not right. And maybe that's the case. I don't know. But maybe we'll hear the printer going off in the background here in just a second. Maybe we won't. But regardless, this
is a live show, ladies and gentlemen.
It's turned into a live show pretty much. I feel like there's more to it than just upstate New York, which is what you're used to.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, but I do know you have the capital region, right? Like, I know that you have
all right, so you know all that.
You have the Adirondacks. Because I spent a lot, even like not in college, I spent a lot of time there. Like, my uncle has a lake house in the Adirondacks that we frequented all the time growing up. Yeah, yes. Yeah. So, and then like I've been to Niagara Falls, so like I know my fair share of the state, obviously, but I may not know all of the nuances. So this could be insightful for me too.
Okay, it's going to be insightful for you too. I'm going to have to get up and get this thing.
That's fine.
It's literally printing right now.
We'll hold it down.
Hold it down.
I'm holding it down. I'm Relax, Rambo.
What?
I said relax, Rambo.
Yeah, I got a Reading Rambo shirt on. How awesome is that?
Where did you get it?
Where? Don't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
When did I get it? When I was under quarantine and buying unnecessary stuff that I didn't really need. Case in
Fair
point,
enough.
look at this. I got a huge baseball card collection going on. What's up, quarantine?
That's something for next week we got to talk about.
Okay, so you've got a map of New York State,
Okay.
which is what I have right here. It's completely and totally blank. If you're Andy B, what's the very first place that you're drawing on this map?
Long Island.
All right,
Because you can't mistake it.
there it is. Long Island. Now what are we doing?
You go to New York City, so you go to the 5 boroughs.
Right, but you know what you're doing? You're including a little bit more of the upper area and simply calling it downstate New York. So it looks a little bit more like this. See where I'm coming from?
I do, yeah.
So it's not just the boroughs. It's not like for us people up here in upstate New York. We're talking...
So you're talking like White Plains, Newburgh, like that area. Okay.
Exactly. All right, here we go. Here's an area up here, which we're going to call the North Country. All right.
Okay.
Do you know what the North Country is?
I mean, that's, was that Plattsburgh?
It's
and
Plattsburgh and anything that's basically leading into
Canada.
Exactly. Those Canadians with their pumpkin spice Kraft macaroni and cheese. I hope they're really, really enjoying it. Now
That's right.
We've got the capital region. Okay?
Albany.
And that's Albany. Actually, the capital region, I think, is a little bit bigger than that. So we're going to go like this with the capital region.
Okay.
Okay, you see that, Albany, and then those surrounding areas, Schenectady, Troy. Even if you want to go as far as like Lake George, I would consider that the capital region because you're pretty darn close enough. All right, so from there, we go, make a big whoop, and we have central New York, which includes Ithaca, okay?
Yes.
Ithaca is a part of central New York. In that, though, you have the Finger Lakes, and I also believe that just barely includes the outer part of Rochester, New York. So we're going to go with the Finger Lakes. So they're kind of tied into one.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Where would you put? Would you put Binghamton in Central New York as well?
No. Binghamton is in the southern tier. So southern tier. I'm just going to label it with an ST. That's the border of Pennsylvania, and it goes actually pretty darn far. It's going to go all the way up towards almost that wannabe capital region, towards like Cooperstown even, okay?
Right.
And then from there, the rest of it, we got western New York, huge, massive, and full of pride, full of wings, and full of Bills fans. Now, if that's not a pretty damn good map, I don't know what is.
I was not expecting you to go into such detail, but I'm impressed.
Because I think the Finger Lakes and the Southern Tier and Central New York all kind of combine into one little, not combine, but they all touch each other like a Venn diagram, you know?
You're not wrong. Like each region has the same vibe. So if you are going from one region to another, like it's not very drastic. Like, oh, I'm in the Southern Tier now. Like you have your same vibe of, you know, college towns and smaller residential towns and everything that's in between. So fair analysis.
So what you're saying is that I might be right?
I would say you're right. Make the horn sound.
Make the horn sound?
Ta-da!
The rap horn sound?
No, the ta-da.
Oh, the ta-da sound.
Yeah.
There's a difference. The horn sound is the rap horn sound. That's the one that
sorry.
gets everybody amped up.
That's true.
That's
on in my audio library on my computer, it's the reggae air horn is how it's labeled.
See, I just have it rap horn.
Fair enough.
Which, I mean, 6 one way, half dozen another, I feel like. You hear it everywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we do have the time. Should we just talk about it real quick? Should we just get it off not really off my chest, but should we just talk about the problem that I've got?
I'm all ears, and I'm sure the listeners are as well. So what can we do to help?
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm asking for. Help. Because
yes, you do need help.
when I was originally under quarantine, and it wasn't just everybody was under quarantine and not working and everything like that. No, like I legitimately was under quarantine because I was in the same room / dating somebody who had COVID-19.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere.
So I couldn't go anywhere. Couldn't go anywhere for at least 14 days until everything eventually died down. Well, for 14 days, I'll be honest, it was actually like kind of nice to just, work from home and hang out and take out the dogs and just relax and everything like that, kind of recharge, even though the pandemic was going on. But in some ways, it was kind of like, oh, this isn't too terrible. But anyway, about 2 or 3 days into this whole pandemic, we decided, hey, we need a hobby. Like, what are we going to do that's going to, just bring us together and we'll have a fun time with it? So I told Courtney, you know what? I haven't collected baseball cards in a really long time. In some ways, baseball cards are like the stock market because the prices of them,
here we go.
The prices of them could go up really high, really quick. And if you want to sell your baseball cards, sell away. But sometimes players get hurt. Players have one good year. They just crash and burn. And that's that. You never hear from them again. And those cards are not worth squat. So I'm able to convince Courtney that we should buy a couple of boxes of cards. So
what's a couple of boxes? So
we bought a box of baseball cards. We bought 2 boxes of baseball cards on eBay.
Okay.
And in total, I think we spent close to $200 on it.
Oh my God.
Because we bought the higher end sort of stuff, okay?
Right.
None of this, cheapo wannabe stuff. We bought like some higher quality.
These are Topps cards, right?
Yeah, Topps baseball cards. Absolutely. You know what you're talking about. So anyway, we buy the baseball cards. We get what's called a couple of hits, where it's an autographed card or game used card of a jersey or something like that. Just got some nice guys. All right, it's really cool. So then we buy a few more boxes of cards on the cheaper end. Open them up. Oh, it's kind of funny. It's like the lottery. Like you never know what you're going to get. Maybe you're going to get something really, really cool. Then it kind of unravels. And Courtney realizes, all right, this is getting a little too much. Like, let's pull back here on everything a little bit here. And I'm honestly just kind of like, nah, just a few more. Long story short, because this is a long story, I've got myself a problem. Now, I haven't
You're
bought,
an addict.
I haven't bought baseball cards in a good 3.5, maybe 4 weeks.
I thought you were going to say months.
But I tell you what,
Oh, good Lord.
it's really hard to not just jump right back into the game and see what we've got.
So, okay. So yes, you do have a problem. Wholeheartedly have a problem. And
But the kicker to it though, sorry to interrupt, the kicker to all of this is that there are YouTube videos out there that are huge now of people just opening up baseball cards, that they have such a cult following. Courtney and I, when we were under quarantine and had nothing better to do, we would sometimes spend like an hour watching people open up baseball cards. So it's not just on me.
No, I mean, unboxing YouTube videos, that's a big industry. Like,
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of big tech guys that made their careers
They do
starting
the same
YouTube
thing,
channels.
yeah.
100%. You're not wrong. Like, I mean, there's a reason people watch those things because.
But I have a problem, right?
Yes. Hard stop.
But I haven't gotten any cards in like almost a month, which is pretty good.
No, but so here's the thing. Like, from my perspective, from a guy who, and you could call me crazy for not having bought baseball cards in years. So from my perspective, you have saying that you haven't bought cards in a month. That's saying you have a problem.
So how do I get out of this problem?
Well, a couple of ways.
A couple of ways.
I mean, usually people who have problems with spending money on things, they'll either end up in debt. So you could certainly go that route, and that is, probably not ideal when you're planning a wedding and starting a life with Courtney.
It'd be kind of wild,
though. Or you could seek help from very unqualified people like myself.
Or I could seek help from Courtney, who's a doctor.
Yes. And shame on me for not proposing that first, and shame on you for not having done that already.
No. She just she shakes her head.
She says to hell with you, right?
She just shakes her head in shame. That's all she needs to do. Shake her head in shame. The moment I would come in with a box of baseball cards or something like that, shakes her head in shame, and she knows, or I know. Ooh. It's like that. It's like that move your parents used to probably make on you when you were a kid. You know, there was always that look, or there was always that moment where you realized, oh boy, I'm in deep. You know what?
Yeah. You could say shit. We said shit in the show last week.
I'm trying to be a better person, Andy B. I'm trying not to curse.
Because you got all your curses out of your system during the Bills game.
If you only knew, you only heard a part of it. You
Yeah,
literally
that's right.
heard just one part of my tirade when it came to the Bills game.
Oh, so I mean, I'm glad you have somebody like Courtney who, if she chooses to do so, will help you through this. Right? I mean, but it sounds like you're a lost cause.
I'm not a lost cause. I'm doing better for myself because there's really really nothing good that's come out lately, and all the other stuff's super expensive, and I can't afford it.
And listen, we're not trying to make light of the situation. There are people out there that genuinely have problems that are much more serious than baseball cards. I think
Baseball
in this
cards can be addicting, man. Because you
any-
just hope
anything
that you're going to
that's-
get like the newest, coolest card, or like a Mike Trout autographed card, or something just badass, you know?
I was just gonna say, because that's the thing. It's the same thing with gambling. Like, you know, I walk through
exactly what it is.
the casino all the time, and like I've gambled before, but
Yeah.
I've never gotten to a point where it's like, okay, $20 more, $20 more, $20 more, because it only takes the first 20 to get you down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I know. That's the scary thing. This is my form of gambling. Is that
Right.
at the end of the day, you still got something. Even if you didn't get the good card that you want, you still got something. If you gamble like $100, like just throw that down the drain or something like that, I ain't coming back. You've got nothing in return for it.
Right.
You know, you're hoping, I mean, at the very least, like, okay, I'll be honest. I've got these baseball cards right here, okay? I spent a stupid amount of money for them. But let's just say, I don't know that, hey, I didn't get a super awesome card, but actually, yeah, I did. Here's Trent Grisham, who is like a rookie having a really good year for the San Diego Padres.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where right now it might not necessarily be a good card, but years from now, look out. I could be rolling in the Benjamins, baby.
So you've bought an obscene amount of baseball cards to date. What's been the best card that you've discovered?
It's a good question. Actually, one of the first baseball cards that we opened up together, or boxes, was something called Topps Inception, and we got a rookie autograph.
It was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Close, yes. Okay. We got an autographed rookie jumbo patch card of a kid named Nico Horner, who's supposed to be a pretty good shortstop for the Cubbies when it's all said and done. He's having kind of an up and down year for them this year, but 60 game season, what can you expect? I recently, basketball cards are huge. You can't find these cards, okay? Like, I actually went to a Target one time, recently bought well, not recently. I went to Target and saw there was a whole bunch of basketball cards. I actually bought those because I thought to myself, everybody and their mother is going to want these cards. Ended up finding like an Anthony Davis card that's like $300 because basketball is at a premium right now. Everybody wants basketball cards. I also spent a stupid amount of money, but it's not really stupid in my eyes, on Yankee autographed baseball cards.
Oh
So
my
autographs,
gosh.
but here's the thing. I would love to have them displayed super nice and just be able to reflect on, because I think it's cool. It's all these Yankees, past and present, like Bernie
Totally.
Williams, Hideki Matsui, Gleyber Torres, Tyler Wade, who's going to be a nothing kind of player. But at the very least, I'll remember, hey, he was, this youngster speedster who could play anywhere on the field for the Yankees back in 2019, 2020. So
Right.
it has a lot more significance to me in my sort of collection, if that makes sense. And I'd love to be able to pass it on to a son or daughter when it's all said and done, to
Totally.
be like, hey, these are the guys who I used to watch when I was a younger sort of guy. Now it's your turn to have your own collection and watch your favorite players and stuff like that.
That was very, passionate.
Thank you. It was very touching, wasn't it?
It was, and I think yeah. You bring up a good point about, like, especially with the Yankees, and like, I know we've been talking about the Bills a lot, but like that is very much a close second for you in terms of fandom. So, you're not wrong by saying it's a cool thing to open up and you get like a Yogi card or like a Babe Ruth card.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the sentimental value behind it and everything like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you doing any card collecting this weekend? What do you got going on?
I was just going to ask you what we're doing for the weekend. God, no plans. Might play some golf maybe on Saturday. Courtney's going to be out and about, so she's going to be spending some family time, girls' day, shopping, and everything like that. So maybe hit up the links with my old man if I can. And
there you
then
go. Sunday,
maybe do some early apple picking. Haven't decided yet. As long as we're home by 4:25, so that I can just watch the Bills barely win another football game.
Hey, we'll see if it's 4-0 or 3-1.
God, 4-0 makes such a difference too. What about you? Anything?
No, not much. Just running some errands and just hanging out for the most part. So it should be pretty low key.
And then in a couple weeks, I don't know what I was trying to Disney it up.
Nope.
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 There we go. That's one. That's one of the songs.
Yes. Good. Third time's the charm.
Oh, good God. That was
well
terrible.
Done.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Hey, I think that's all we got for To The Weekend episode 2. If you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple, thank you for listening. And first and foremost, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Check us out on YouTube. Drop a comment. If you have any questions for us, we'll answer them. And Craig Reed, I know we didn't get to it this week, but we got you next week. We will be sure to go over how we do this thing for you. So until for To The Weekend, you stay classy, my friend.
You stay classy, my friend.
See ya.